Why is my camera just like never changing? I don't know, but I just wanted to say this because there is like some misconceptions going around from the actual like retarded ass. I'm sorry for using that word, but these people on Twitter are actually like either they can't read or they're just getting on the hate boner that they have for Black Clover. Um, and I'm about to debunk them and show them why they're wrong and why they can't read and they need glasses in order for them to read. Um, Let me just look. So as I was saying, first thing that I will do is debunk these stupid ass allegations that it's a ass pull or that it's some BS that like is only aura farming. I heard this account, and I will show the proof right here. Uh, I should have added it to the Streamlabs, but it's being like weird for whatever reason. So for example, Ichigo, he has 10,000 followers, 10.5k to be exact on Twitter, and said, "The only thing I see in Black Clover are new transformations. This manga is ass. With you got any good writing, right? I don't know if you guys can see it right here on stream. You got any good writing? We got hype moments and aura. This is not solo leveling, okay? There's actually writing and philosophies and themes being displayed in this manga. I made a whole 35-page, essentially like essay, document on why that's not the case. It's not professional, it's not college level or especially uni level of writing. It's more targeted towards, okay, this is something you could share to your friend as a fun fact. I even open up the paragraph, the very first page, it says fun fact, to just have it as a fun fact there. But again, just showing off the tweet. Only has aura and that's it. There's no writing apparently in transformations, and it has 90 likes, 13 bookmarks, 10,000 views. And then he was quoting one by Coditurd, or Coditurd, what a fucking weird name. Laugh my ass off, 6 months for this BS. And it's showing off Yuno's like newfound form, even though it's not really a form. It's more of a boost, right? It's more of a boost from Asta. And the reason why this ticks me off is because you can tell who's actually reading the story and who isn't. Because those who actually read the story give Black Clover chapter 19. So literally within the first 20 chapters of the story, Asta is fighting Mars. Here it is, right? Here it is. There's a whole dialogue, and it's called Memories of You, I believe the chapter is called. And Noelle is giving him a mental boost to keep on going. She says, "I'm a royal, and you are the first commoner I acknowledged. That guy's nothing. Hurry up and crush him, Asta." And with that mental boost, and with her unknowingly like giving him some of her mana, some of her power, he even sees that and acknowledges it with that look right there. And he says, "Roger that, leave it to me." And he uses her mana with a slash, and it's you even see this in the anime. I believe it's like probably like episode 15 as well, somewhere around there, 14, 15, somewhere around there. You see the water slash that is given to him by Noelle, like her mana, which is water magic, right? And she is capable of doing that. Not only that, but it is acknowledged again in chapter 367 titled Black Bond. As you can see right here, it is acknowledged right there. I don't know if you guys on stream can see it or not, but it's acknowledged right there. With Asta saying, like a reverse demon dweller. Like a reverse demon dweller. and then he points it up just like Licht because he remembers that he saw Licht doing this, and he says demon dweller, and instead of, because Licht, whenever he did it, he grabbed all the mana from the elven tribe to attack Zagred, and here's that. This is a couple hundreds of chapters after chapter 19. So here you guys go. It is volume 22 when this happens, and even because as you guys remember, Licht is the actual owner of these swords. They're just passed down to Asta. And so whenever Yuno ends up with the actual sword, as you can see from the leaked manga panel down to the bottom left, that's how you know, like that's how you know, like, motherfuckers just gonna be cooking them. And I hate it whenever people say, "Oh, it's like an ex machina" or anything like that, when it's not. It's clearly been portrayed since the beginning of the story, chapter 19, Memories of You, and the last 4 pages of it. It's clearly displayed what that sword was meant for. It's meant for lighter. It's meant to counter, like, have a balance for Asta's Demon Slayer sword, I believe, because the Demon Slayer, if you remember the fight, was heavy. He could only block and just make it go back. And he even acknowledges it in chapter 19, where this is not one of those swords where he could just block with it or anything. He could, but not for bigger attacks. So whenever Licht actually uses the Demon Dweller sword again, the proper user of it, he uses it by making everybody give him the mana of the Elven tribe to attack Zagred, to defeat him. But Asta, and it even tells you this, that like Asta's able to do this because if you remember in the fight, and in chapter 367, I believe, even in the earlier pages, if not chapter 366, the later pages, they show you how Asta uses it again whenever Captain Yami gives him his sword, how he embeds it with his anti-magic, and it slashes Dante across the chest, as we all remember. Magnificent fight, very thematic, about like giving the next generation, or like, you know, the guy he looked up to, like he's passing on his sword, literally metaphorically, and just right then and there he's passing on his sword to him, the legacy. And so you have these themes in this writing that's clearly telling you a story, and you have dumb people like that, like Ichigo and whatever the other guy's name was, that clearly get a bunch of likes. Ichigo got 83, the other guy got like 300, that clearly do not read the story, yet are willing to trash such a magnificent like story arc, right? And so it's just bullshit. I dislike because it's disingenuous to those who actually read, and those who already dislike Black Clover, because as we all remember, not that many people ended up like liking Black Clover, especially at the beginning. It's just disingenuous, and it's improper to the manga, especially to Yuki Tabata, who has risked his own health and financial like well-being of his family for like not being there with them, because as a mangaka it's very stressful and it's a very toxic lifestyle to have. It's just very it's just bad for that. Like, have some empathy, right? But anyways, it's a banger. I love the way Tabata draws Libe, as you can see in the bottom right. Just an amazing, like, first of all, amazing character, but also just the way he panels the shot, the very focused front view of him, because Lichita, we didn't know this, and it's not here on the actual stream, but in one of the panels, earlier pages, you actually see Lucius is towering over her, right after Lucifero made contact with her and ended up taking her life, as we can presume. But he like copies her, clones her, or whatever, and boom, she's right there, right in front of Asta and the Devil Union when they're about to slash Lucius. And Libe, of course, stutters, and with that stutter, and even him telling himself, because there's like raw translations for these, but he even tells himself, no matter if it was a clone or anything like that, he is not willing to hurt Lisita, right, which is his mother, and Asta's mother as well. So they're stepbrothers, of course, because one's a devil and the other one's a human. But anyways, it's a very strong moment for him, and it's just a powerful scene. They end up undoing themselves in the Devil Union because, of course, different mentalities. One is actually going to attack, the other one isn't, and so they have to have the same mentality, the same effort for the events at hand, right? And so they end up separating. Lucius ends up cutting both of them. And in the later last pages of chapter 380 for the leaks, I don't have it right here on stream, my bad, but they actually show how Asta is giving the pep talk that they had back in chapter like earlier chapters with the fight of Lucifero. I am going to try and find it right here. Yeah, whenever I guess I'll edit it, but there's a scene where clearly, just like in chapter 380, the last few pages, there's a scene where Asta is on the ground, and it's a mirror image to being on the ground and telling Asta to finish off Lucifero. And again, Asta is telling, now this time, to finish off Lucifero. So it's a nice parallel. Tabata loves doing that. You see this with the demon at the beginning of the story, and that whole plot line of who he actually was. And I believe that's how the story will end, is Asta or is gonna probably die from a curse, some sort of weg magic, and we'll just see. That's like my own theory, but anyways, yeah, I just love everything about this chapter, and shame on those who don't know how to read and are illiterate, because they are very much missing on a very good story that, in my opinion, is just fantastic. There's just no way you can see this and disagree otherwise. And again, having that sword, it's been portrayed plenty of times, like I said in chapter 367 of Black Clover, called Black Bond, how he shares his power to the Black Bulls and Yami, and how he can coat his own anti-magic. This is not a new thing, right? This is since the Spade arc, and then for, at least with him in his anti-magic, but you can argue since chapter 19, Memories of You, showing off that he can get power. And again, this is just his rifle like sword kinda ish to because is the reincarnated son of Licht, or he has the reincarnated son of Licht and Tetia in him. Again, it goes back many chapters ago in the Spade arc, where he discovers that he has two different types of grimoires and two different types of star magic, which that's in its own self like a whole other discussion. Anyways, but yeah, like Licht, it makes sense why he would use it. His dad basically, right, used it, or at least to the reincarnated soul of in his body. His father used it, quote air quotes, but yeah. So there's just no reason to believe that this is an Aspor or a Ex Machina or anything like that. Whenever the story literally tells you, and has been hinting at it since literally chapter 19. I'm tired of Black Clover haters that have a just like to dick ride a wave of insanity of like, hey, I'd rather focus on Black Clover than my actual fucking manga that I enjoy reading, right? And it's just stupid negativity that makes no sense at all whenever you go deep into it. Anyways, yeah, that's Black Clover.